I'm David.
And we're here to talk about Big Brother.
Yes.
Oh, good stuff, you guys.
Drama this weekend, an extra episode.
Yes. Oh,
A lot going on.
life with an extra episode.
I know.
Yes, please.
Such a treat.
Okay, if you're new to our videos, we are going to recap Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and
Yes.
Sunday's episodes, and then we're going to talk about feed spoilers, so we will say spoilers at some point and talk more in depth. Wednesday.
Right. As we'd spoiled last week, they held the veto competition and Jason won the veto.
They were going back and forth on if he should use it.
Right.
Paul was trying to convince Jason and Alex to put Mark up on the block. Jason and take Jessica down.
Right.
To put Mark up.
Yeah.
Jason and Alex did not really want to do that. They wanted to just kind of keep everything the same.
Yeah.
Target seemed to be Dom. Who cares?
Yeah.
So they were going back and forth, forgetting that every time Paul convinced them to do something that it wasn't their idea.
Yeah.
But anyway, eventually, as we see on the Wednesday episode, Jason did not use the power of veto. He kept the noms the same.
But in an interesting twist in the veto
love a
ceremony,
twist.
he asked a follow-up question to Dom after her speech.
Please more follow-up questions.
I loved it. I was like, let's turn it into a whole thing. Like
Let's have a
3
combo.
questions each person.
right?
You know what I mean?
But it was the perfect way to bait her because she had tried to go the safe route with her little speech about not naming any names, although she made it clear Paul's the snake. But his follow-up question did make her say Elena's name.
Yes.
And sort of made it clear that she would be going after them.
Yeah.
One thing I loved about Wednesday's episode is that Mark cried in the DR so much.
Oh yeah, he was real torn up about Dom being on the block because Dom's like a sister to him.
The cutest thing ever. I really love him crying.
Yeah. Anyway, Jason, we know, never planned to use the veto on Dom. Nominations stay the same. So then we're in Thursday's episode.
Which they gave us some great highlights from the Josh holding court in the hot tub fight.
Oh my God.
Which all started because of a pool bet.
Right.
Then Mark throws. Now, Mark throwing a cup of hot sauce and pickle juice in someone's face, that's aggressive.
Yeah. And I think...
not take all the blame off of Mark here, people.
Totally. I do think it was, like, meant in good fun. But, like, you gotta realize right after it happens, like...
No, yeah.
That's
I think
messed
it's
up.
easy for Mark to say, I was just kidding. I thought it was a joke. But I think Mark was legit.
You think he really was like, I'm gonna throw hot sauce in this guy's face?
Yeah, I do. I think Mark was annoyed by Josh. I think Josh gets on people's nerves.
Sure.
Josh was playing unfair pool.
Yeah.
I think it obviously just got out of control.
It was a stupid situation.
But Josh in the hot tub was hilarious. And it went on for a good amount of time. On the feeds, it was pretty entertaining. He kept clapping and saying, next, who's next? Got another question? What else? And then he would just keep going. It was pretty entertaining, but what was interesting at the time watching it on the feeds was that Jessica intercepted herself in it.
Yeah.
Like everyone else is like playing it cool.
Yeah, and then she's jumping in and it's like, you're on the block. What are you doing?
Right. You're on the block and just why are you prodding him? Like he's obviously off his rocker.
Yeah, as much as Josh can't help himself from blowing up, it also appears that Jessica can't help herself from just like poking at him and like trying to get him to blow up even more.
Right. So they showed some of that, but then we get to the eviction.
But first. Jessica gets the temptation. So they go in the den of temptation.
Now this was interesting.
Yes.
Because this was the temptation that we voted for 2 weeks. And so we knew the voting was going to be a little wonky and a little off.
Yes.
Now the people who only watch the TV episodes, I think were voting for Alex, it seemed like. She had the popularity.
Sure.
But I guess there might have been some people who got into the Cody Jessica love story, maybe?
Okay, yeah.
There were some definitely people online voting for Jessica the first week because she was on the block and it would have been good drama.
For sure.
And then the second week, I think those people had switched over to Dom.
Right.
Because then Dom would have been the good drama.
Yes.
But apparently enough votes went to Jessica.
Yeah, I was surprised.
I was too. I kind of thought that Alex would just win the popular vote and get it.
Yeah.
But no.
Jessica gets the final temptation of the summer. Well, at least with this Den of Temptation twist that they've introduced. So she gets this halting hex and she can stop any eviction for the next 4 evictions, which I love.
No, oh my gosh, this is such a good temptation. And what I love is the house doesn't know if these temptations are good or not or what. So they kind of assume it's probably going to just be something silly or stupid. And when this comes up, it's going to be huge.
It is going to be huge. Can you imagine if it happens during like a double eviction or something? That would be nuts. And she's up on the block, so this is like a good week for her to have it if she needs it.
So when the feeds went down for this temptation and then it came back, no one was saying, you know, no one was cam talking saying, thank you, America, I got it. No one was sharing with an ally. So we kind of knew Alex probably didn't get it because she would have told Jason.
Yeah, or Paul.
Or Paul. Dom was clearly working on her eviction speech, so it didn't seem like she had gotten it. Jessica, however, immediately started testing out votes and was like, you guys just, you know, like, I don't want to be blindsided. Just give me a heads up if you're going to vote me out. And so then it was like, oh, okay. So she's really trying to feel out if she needs to use this or not. That was our only hint.
Yeah.
But morning of Thursday, right before they do their lockdown for the live show, Matt and Paul did a kind of, maybe we should just get Jessica out this week. Really quickly. Just enough to go, oh shoot, are they trying to flip it? Is it gonna be Dom?
Yeah.
It kind of seemed last minute. That was my thought of like, oh, she does have it. If they did flip the vote and she still felt she was safe, she was gonna walk out with this temptation.
Yeah.
Turns out we had our first unanimous eviction.
Yes, everybody wanted Dom out of that house.
I think a lot of people were sad to see Dom go.
I was a little bit.
Viewer-wise.
Yeah.
I think we enjoyed Dom in the house. It's a real shame that it went down the way that it did. But at this point, there was nothing anybody could do.
Right.
She was going.
Yeah. And she sort of like dug her own grave. She did not have a good campaign to keep herself. Like, it just wasn't good. But then she immediately gets a second chance to come back in the house because the next night is the Battle Back competition.
Yeah, and our extra episode of the Battle Back. Oh my gosh, I was so excited.
We get Cameron back.
Oh my God,
Jillian and Cody and Dominique. And they were all shocked that Dominique was the fourth person voted out. That was great.
We all were. Yeah. So that was exciting to watch the Battle Back. So the four of them ended up playing the first game together, and they took the top two winners of that to play the second game. So immediately Jillian and Dominique are eliminated from the Battle Back. I was just excited that Cameron was succeeding.
More screen time.
Yeah.
I liked him from the beginning. I missed him.
I mean, I kind of assumed Cody was going to win this, but I was so excited that Cameron won something.
Yes, but Cody then does beat Cameron. But then I did love this twist that they did, where it was you were not guaranteed to win your way back in this house just by beating the other evicted house guests. You also have to defeat this house guest choice, someone who's still in the house battles against you.
So now that Cody wins, and Julie explains someone's going to battle you to get into the house, but he gets to pick the competition.
Yes.
So Cody picks the first one, which was this maze pulley thing, which was really smart because he had gotten the hang of this.
And it was the same. The second competition changed, right?
No, the maze changed.
Oh, but still, you sort of have a feel for how the pulley system works.
I don't think the maze matters. I think this is what matters.
Absolutely.
And so whoever he was going to play against had to figure this out when he already knew.
Yeah.
This is what I find interesting. So we now go into the house, and Julie calls the house guests in and is like, someone has won the Battle Back. You guys get to choose someone to battle the Battle Back winner, and just to allow them or not into the house.
Yes.
Now, editing wise, their faces looked like they were getting this news for the first time, right?
Yeah.
They were very shocked.
Yeah.
And she says you're gonna go vote privately in the DR like you do an eviction. And there was no cutting away. So in my mind, I thought that this was all unraveling without them being able to
have conversations about
and say, who are we gonna pick? What's our majority? Who are we gonna pick? And I also, being the naive person that I am, was thinking, oh, Jason's really good at competitions.
Yeah.
Maybe they should choose him.
Maybe an athletic person, you know, who's not Paul.
Completely forgot that this house is under the spell of Paul.
Unreal.
And whether they actually did have time to talk or not, they unanimously picked Paul.
The only person who didn't was Paul because he couldn't. With 10 votes, Paul is selected as the house guest choice to battle against Cody.
I was like sick to my stomach.
I was like, this is nuts. Like, is this even a game anymore? Is anybody
even... It feels like a cult. It feels like he is the cult leader. And they just swear to him.
Yeah, he's this charismatic cult leader and he just can order them around and do whatever he wants. It's nuts. Who is going to stand up to him?
Right. the only upside to this is he loses.
Yes, right. Thank goodness.
Cody beats him. Paul.
So Cody's back in the game, which I am not upset about because I think that's good drama. They sort of had their thing when they were in the house together. And I'm anticipating that, you know, Cody's going to come back in guns blazing and try to get Paul out.
Blazing.
You know, because he's got a vendetta against Paul because Paul's the one who got him out.
Well, and I think he has a vendetta towards a lot of people in the house.
For sure. He feels betrayed by a lot of people.
Right, exactly. And I think that he has a lot of unfinished business to do. None of us like Cody.
Right, no.
Don't get us wrong. Like, nobody is supporting Cody as an individual.
But I just want an interesting game.
But he's a good villain.
Yeah.
And like he said, Battle of the Alphas.
Yeah.
Jessica's ecstatic, the rest of the house is not.
No. So immediately it's like giant house meeting with everybody except for Jessica and Cody because they're like getting it on in one of the rooms.
Yeah. So we get to see this on the Sunday episode.
Yes.
Which was interesting because by the time the battle back airs on the West Coast, then they show us the feeds. Sitting, waiting for the feeds to come on, and it comes back to not excitement.
Yeah, right. Nobody's yelling.
Nobody's yelling. People on the block are not who we want to be on the block. But anyway, So let's just start with the Sunday show. So we finally do get to see that they obviously have this house meeting of like, well, it's us against 2.
Yeah. One of us 10 has to win HOH and put them up on the block and we're going to split them up again.
Let's band together. We got this.
Yeah.
Go to the HOH. They do not got this.
No, it was down to Christmas and Jessica, which was great. I was glad to see that Christmas could finally compete in the competition.
And I would have loved for Christmas to have won.
That would have been
awesome.
Great. Yeah, but she loses.
Jessica was straight faux.
Oh my God. I don't think she moved the entire 2+ hours that they were out there.
On getting this HOH. And like as much of those, what was it called? Just like distractions or whatever.
Yeah, punishment, something.
Yeah, I mean Cody got a lot, but Jessica got a couple. And the fact that they powered through those was pretty impressive.
Yeah, for sure. And Cody's right next to her, so she's distracted every time he gets a distraction.
Yeah.
You know?
So I have to give her
credits.
Credits. I have to give her movie credits at the end of no. She's obviously good at competitions.
Yeah.
She's gonna be hard to get out of this game.
So now we're all thinking, great, ooh, something different. Maybe Paul's not running the show. Maybe Paul's gonna be on the block because Jessica's HOH and da-da-da-da.
Yeah, I am happy that Paul is not super on top of everything right now, that he's a little unhappy.
Sure.
That makes me feel a little bit better.
Yeah, right.
It's not as exciting, but I have to give Jessica credit. She is thinking big picture.
Yeah. She's playing the long game.
She knows that if she puts Paul up there right now,
it's not the right time.
That she doesn't have the numbers in her favor. She's only got Cody.
Yeah.
And that's true. That's valid. If she wants to make it far, she has to take a medium step.
So she's focused on her target, which is Josh. And I think that's a great target for her because Josh does not like her. He's yelled at her multiple times and he's a wild card. Like he could blow up her game at any moment. So I think it's a totally valid target and I don't think she'll have too hard of a time if she plays her cards right, convincing the rest of the house to evict him.
You would think. So I felt like it was probably more of a personal choice than a game choice because she does not like Josh. Cody and Jessica do not like Josh. Josh does not like Jessica and Cody. So it feels like a personal choice, but also I guess it could be a game choice too because he's just so unpredictable. To that same point though, because he's unpredictable, Paul sees him as a buffer, a barrier. Keep the crazy dude in the game, keep those people off their game with him as a distraction.
Yeah.
That works for Paul. And Jessica also puts up Ramses. Jessica and Cody think Ramses is a great pawn because he has no alliance members. Well, that's not how pawns work.
Right.
Pawns need to be people who no one wants to vote out.
Right.
If someone doesn't have alliance members, they're disposable. People will vote them out.
Right.
So we've got Paul wanting to keep Josh as a distraction.
Yep.
And Paul has wanted Ramses out for weeks. He's been vocal about Ramses being a target. Yeah. So Paul sees this as the greatest opportunity to get Ramses out.
Yeah.
I guess we just went into spoilers.
Spoilers.
Spoiler alert. Even though Jessica's target is Josh, Paul's target is Ramses.
So what do we think is going to happen?
So as of taping, as of this,
yes,
Paul has convinced 7 people to vote Ramses out. They are keeping it a secret from Mark and Elena, and obviously Cody and Jessica.
Yeah.
So that's 3 votes to evict Josh, 7 votes to evict Ramses.
Yep.
That is what became pretty clear on the feeds after nominations happened. Paul is telling Jessica and Cody that they're totally on board, whoever her target is. He said, thank you for not putting me up. We'll vote with you. But obviously that's a straight out lie.
Yeah.
And they're being so secretive about this that they're not even telling Mark and Elena, including Christmas. Like, Christmas is on board with all this. Matt and Raven, they all think Mark is too unstable and they're not risking it. Like, they're working really, really hard to make this blind side happen.
So are they not telling, because I'm not super caught up on the spoilers, right? So I'm hearing a lot of this for the first time too. Are they not trusting Mark because Mark hates Josh so much, and they think that if he finds out that Josh is not actually the target, he's gonna like raise a stink and like blow up the plan?
Yeah, part of that is they know that Mark and Josh have a thing, but also Mark has proven to be a little bit of a loose cannon as well, not as much as Josh.
Yeah.
But he just sort of, and Mark is doing a really good job of kissing Cody's butt. He's just not as trustworthy to Paul and Christmas and them. They've sort of let him go a little bit from their core group. So he's a little on the outside with them.
Yeah.
He still thinks that he's in. And then Christmas also made this comment of like, people are catching on to Elena's game. Christmas has sort of pushed Elena to the side too, which is interesting.
They've been like thick as thieves for the longest time.
Yes. So there's some definite cracks in that side, but Paul obviously is
still king of the castle.
Right. He's still orchestrating things really well. And Matt brought up some interesting points of just like, hey, if we...
Sorry, Matt brought up interesting points?
Guys.
He didn't just wear an orange shirt?
No. Matt changed his shirt and then he said some game stuff. He said if we do this and largely show Jessica and Cody that we are still against them, that ups the odds that he and Raven would go up. So, you know, he and Raven are really good at laying low. Being under the radar.
Yeah.
And so they feel like no one's going to target them yet. But if they are part of this mass, like, haha, we didn't get Josh out, he realizes he becomes more of a target. So he was bringing that up to Raven. Raven squashes it. She's like, no, not at all. It doesn't matter. It's not going to change anything no matter who we vote out. And then Paul, of course, hears all this and he's like, no. And he's convincing Matt. And Matt's like, dude, I'm going to do whatever it is that the group wants to do. I'm just pointing out it's dangerous. And Paul's like, I'll take the heat. It's, you know, I'll be the one on the block anyway, blah, blah, blah. So Paul, you know, does his best to keep this plan in place. Right. But what I'm seeing as a viewer is that it's not a perfect plan.
It's not 100%.
And because we still have a few days before an eviction,
stuff could change.
It could fall apart.
Yeah.
Another way it could fall apart is if Josh screws this up, because Josh is doing an Academy Award winning performance right now. He's got a straight Audrey thing going on with a hoodie and sunglasses. He's locked himself in a room. He's pretending to be upset and crying. Jessica thinks he's isolating himself.
Yep.
And he's laying low with the hopes that this works out and he gets to go off on them when he stays on Thursday.
So that's the promise that Paul has made to Josh.
Yes.
Is if you can just shut your mouth for a week, I will let you blow up at Cody and Jess. But if you do it 1 minute before the eviction, the whole plan is going to go to shit.
Another spoiler is Jessica wins power of veto. So at this point, if she did want to do a backdoor, she could.
Yes.
But that has not been of any of her conversations. She really wants to get Josh out, and she wants to sort of show some loyalty to the other side of the house because she's trying to play it nice. If they can continue to keep this from Mark and Elena, if Josh can continue this performance, and if Matt doesn't like flip and people Raven. Don't get scared, if they hold fast to this, then we will see a blindside on Thursday to Jessica and Cody, Ramsey out the door.
Yeah, but if Matt and Raven flip, then it's going to be a tie, and Jessica will break the tie, and likely Josh will be going out the door.
I don't imagine Matt and Raven just flipping. Like, if they start to flip, I feel like other people are flipping. I feel like something's happening.
Okay.
I don't know. Who knows? Alex and Jason could decide to change their mind. Like, who knows? But, like, unfortunately, like we said, Ramses doesn't really have any allies.
Totally. And everyone's just doing what Paul wants.
Right.
So.
I enjoy Ramses. I think he's entertaining. I think he's cute and adorable. He doesn't play the game that great.
Yeah.
So I get it, but
Right.
I'm bummed. I'm bummed that we're losing Ramses this week, probably. Yeah. I think that was it. Did we cover everything?
I think so, yeah. That definitely takes us up through the end of the Wednesday episode.
I just want to say that, like, because a lot of people are mad at Jessica and Cody for not, like, just running through and, like, trying to take Paul down. But I don't think this is the end of excitement, you guys. I think that this blind side is going to tick Cody and Jessica off big time.
Yeah. And
then either Cody wins HOH next week and actually puts Paul up because they're all so angry, or anyone else wins, puts Cody and Jessica up,
and then
we use the halting hex.
Yes.
And people's heads will explode. I feel like the next week or two might be super, super exciting.
Yeah, for sure. And what I like about Jessica too is she knows that Paul is a threat. She made continued references this week that she would love to cut off the head, meaning Paul, but it's just not the right time. Like you said, she does not have the votes to get Paul out of this house. But I think if they blindside her and vote out Ramses, that's really going to energize the two of them to make big moves.
And it's like a line in the sand.
Yeah.
It's like they're all pretending to be friendly right now, but they're not.
Yep.
And so it will be clear after Thursday. Yeah. So I feel like Cody coming back in is still doing what he's supposed to be doing.
Yes.
I think we're still gonna have like this battle, whatever. And I'm still excited about BB19.
Yes, me too. I think there's hope for it.
Yeah. What do you guys think? Tell me, are you bummed? Are you excited? What do you think is going to happen? Can they make this blindside happen?
Yeah, and who do you actually want to go home this week out of Josh and Ramses?
Yeah.
Let us know in the comments, and we'll see you guys next week.
Okay, bye.
Bye.